So Milo, how was your flight? How was Ryanair?
It's really horrible. It was everything I expected. I went to bed at 2:45 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m. I got on a Ryanair plane that I'm pretty sure was built by the Wright brothers. So that was fun. And the most fun aspect of that plane was that, actually there were two things. Which first of all, I got sat in the emergency exit row, and they moved me to like next to the emergency door thing, and I'm like asleep against the wall. And the stewardess comes over and she's like, just to clarify, if there is an emergency, you will have to open the door. Are you happy to do that? And I literally said, if that happens, everyone on this plane is going to die. And she just walked off. I'm like, okay. And then it turned out that the plane didn't really have like cabin pressure, so now I'm just deaf, which is fun. So
that's good. Yeah.
I'm just
That's
going
like
to
a
be reading
normal
audio
Ryanair
lips.
experience, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. And I was priority.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But,
fancy.
and that's what you get in priority.
Spending that extra €25 or whatever.
Oh, I know. I only did it because like my bag was technically too big for their like. They've now made their like normal cabin bag size so ridiculously small that it's basically like a wallet. Like it's like you can't really. And so I bought priority, but then I'm like getting on the plane first. But I'm also like, this is such a weird flex. Like, why don't I just fly on a better airline? I'm actually the fucking Ryanair Ubermensch. Thank you very much. Better than you other Ryanair pricks.
That was always the thing whenever I would go to to Latvia to go visit Yulia.
Mm-hmm.
That was like there's first class in Air Baltic, which does it still exist? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
What Air Baltic?
Air Baltic.
Yeah.
But there was always like these just like Russian
It's the Baltic's pride, like
Oh, okay.
that airline.
Good, great job. But there was all these people who just like were like wannabe Russian billionaires, just like flexing in the front of Air Baltic, and it was just like,
Classic.
what? Like you spent like an extra €50 just so you can like come like dressed in a Gucci tracksuit and fly on fucking Air Baltic.
I would do that.
Gucci Huyuchi, baby.
If I had money.
I mean, I totally would too
First
because
class in Air Baltic seems like.
First class on Air Baltic is like no one spits in your face. That's like I flew Air Baltic once and I had a layover in Riga and we had to go and get on another plane which was like 25 feet away, and they made us wait for a bus to take us to 25 feet from one plane to another. And then in the end we waited so long for this bus, like 15 minutes, and we all got on the bus, and then they closed the doors, but they couldn't get, there were like 10 people they couldn't get on. They were like, oh, you guys can just walk, and they beat us to the other plane.
Riga, normal country.
Riga.
Very.
Hey, welcome to the Corner Späti. Today we have a very special episode because we have Milo from Trashfuture hanging out with the whole gang.
What's
We
up?
are all here actually.
I'm also
You got
here.
you got Yulia onto the episode.
Yay!
Amazing. Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's me, your boy. The dumbest one of the Trashfuture crew. Which is, we fought long and hard over that title, but I raised that trophy with a bloodied fist. So yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
we
having
sent out
me.
the communique. Send us your dumbest member, and
Yeah.
eventually Milo showed up, so we're happy.
Well, because
So that we
Robin,
look smart.
Rob and I have just like pretty powerful dumb guy energy that I think we can make a trifecta of stupidity.
Amazing. Yeah, two of the other guys actually died during the tryouts, so pouring one out
I
for
thought
them.
you. No.
Yeah, a lot of glue was huffed.
It's like the fifth beat of the other members of Trash. Never made it through. All right.
We used to have a drummer, and now not anymore.
That'd be a terrible podcast.
Just like continual jazz beats in the background. Yeah, I'd be down with that actually.
All right, and today we're talking about wonderful, normal people of Golden Dawn,
Yeah, because why not?
like Greece's third biggest party at this point.
Normal country, normal political parties,
great country.
normal
Yeah.
political
Going well.
landscape.
All's going well,
We're finally
especially
letting
since
Nick tell the
2008.
truth about Greece.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you the truth about Greece. There's going to be a 4-hour-long episode starting from the advent of Greek civilization.
Yeah.
I decide when
So
that is.
some point in the future.
Yeah. Until Greek Hotep reality, which is that.
Oh yeah.
The crowd of
The Greeks built the
European
pyramids.
civilization.
I get to determine what is and what isn't Macedonia. So that'll also be,
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah, to be
just
fair,
a-
Macedonia is not Macedonia. They were just like, we need to call this country something, but it has no history.
Skopje, just call it Skopje.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Would it
that they're-
surprise you that Golden Dawn has a very strong opinion about that?
Oh,
Weird.
Oh, of course they do.
I like the idea that there's like a Greek Hotep who's just like really into this conspiracy theory and trying to convince all his friends that the Greeks actually built the Acropolis, but like doesn't realize that's not the case. All right, but first things first, we're doing the Mega Rika competition.
Yay!
It is my favorite part
I'm
every
very
week.
excited.
I always love to hear this batshit insane brilliance that is Billionaires of Europe.
Yes. Well, actually, we will get to some real fucking small-ass countries where they don't have any billionaires. But today we have a billionaire from a European country. Net worth $1.81 billion.
You know, it's going down every week.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little
Is it
disappointed.
local currency or dollars?
No, that's
US
US
dollars.
dollars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was saying, because local currency, you could really fuck around with it. You
Like
know?
Bulgarian, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Fucking Croatian kunas or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Turkish, fucking what's that?
Lira.
Yeah. All right. This guy made his money via Central and Eastern European telecoms companies, Swiss pharma companies, a failed bank, and some online games.
Always good to diversify.
Online games.
So wait,
So
did you
like-
say Swiss or?
A Swiss pharma company,
Okay, cool.
failed bank, Central and Eastern European telecoms.
You can't read.
No, I'm sorry. I was just staring at it. I
Yeah.
can't
Bullshit.
read
You're
from
trying to
here.
cheat.
No, I can't even read from here.
And some online games.
I'm getting a very former Soviet Union vibe from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
interesting.
course.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of former Soviet Union.
So far, it's
Yeah.
only been that, which is
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing Russians love, it's fucking like Counter-Strike and like dodgy medical
Oh,
investments.
wait until we get to Belarus.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, piece of information number 1. 2 of his companies left his home country's people with several billions of dollars of debt when they went bankrupt following the 2008 financial crisis. His fortunes were reduced by the financial crisis as well, so he's suffering too. Leading him to cancel the construction of his £100 million luxury yacht.
Damn.
Who's the real victim here?
Oh, pouring one out for my boy.
Piece of information number 2. Him and his dad have at least 50 offshore companies in tax havens established through Mossack Fonseca, and was also mentioned in the Paradise Papers, because of course.
Because you got to
Why
flex.
not? Yeah.
You know,
They actually were building the yacht to sail to all of their offshore companies to
They're
visit them
really
like a
doing
king coming to the island.
it.
What gold and like trinkets have you collected for me? Please bestow them upon me.
Look, the yachts, it's not for me. It's for the team.
It's a business expense.
Exactly, yeah.
All
is
right.
he like one of those dudes who then when like an athlete like becomes really big, then like all of his friends also then like move with them in like a big like apartment or whatever it is.
When he has
Yeah.
like a posse, like an entourage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, it's like the Team 10 house.
That's
but-
very Eastern European.
yeah. No, but like Mesut Ozil does that. Like all of his friends from like
Seriously?
Gelsenkirchen like live with him in London now.
Shit.
Yeah,
Putin does that as well.
both. I mean,
Yeah,
All
except
his
they all
friends-
run the government. You know, my friends from the KGB, they own Russia now.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
that's
just a
why.
cute story. It's like Michael Owen buying houses for his family. It's the same thing.
Well, that's why he has 50 companies, one for each homie. Like every homie gets a company.
Every home gets a company.
And
We kiss each other good morning every morning. Me and my homies that own all of the Russian state resources.
Oh, seriously.
piece of information number 3, and personally my favorite piece of information.
lay it on me.
His great-grandfather is famous for bringing industrial capitalism to his country. His mother was married to George Lincoln Rockwell, founder of the American Nazi Party. Wait,
Ba,
what?
ba, ba, ba.
I'm sorry. You should have said at the beginning. I didn't know we were dealing with royalty. Like, this isn't, I didn't know we were dealing with a powerful bloodline here.
And his three
The actual royalty are just all the British Nazis.
and his 3 siblings are in fact his half-siblings who were adopted by his biological father after his mom's divorce from Rockwell. There's an interview that seems to imply that one of his company's logos was inspired by the Iron Cross due to this connection.
Hell
Nice
yes.
one.
You know, just
I love how they get their inspiration, like
Family
this
crest.
George and Dream, for example, like last
Oh
time.
my God, yeah. Great news.
When a book was published about his family's legacy, it opened with a chapter dedicated to his mom's 10-year marriage to Rockwell, founder of the American Nazi Party. He used a publishing company he owned to buy the book and remove the chapter in future editions. He also attempted to shut down the newspaper that first reported by trying to buy its holding company. So there you go. That's my lovely man here.
Wow.
Because of course they're all men.
Strong maneuver.
Okay. Wow.
Wait, this is too much cool stuff. So I gotta process it all.
Yeah.
So go back to the companies at the beginning. We got a Swiss pharma company,
Yeah.
Eastern European,
Central and Eastern European telecoms and
Interesting.
online games.
So,
I mean, I was thinking
Stable.
Ukraine, but if it was Ukraine, they would have left that chapter about the Nazis in.
yeah, definitely. They would like put only that chapter.
Yeah.
proud Ukrainian hero.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There must have been a publishing error. The same chapter's printed 13 times in the book, so you're gonna have to read it 13 times.
It's just like that when Kanye and Jay-Z had their tour in Paris.
They just play the song again
They
and
played it
again.
11 times in a row.
I was there.
You were there?
Wait, what?
No, I was at the Chicago show, but they played it like 8 times.
Oh, okay.
I was pretty hyped.
Good to know.
But yeah.
Oh, God.
Also, I want to
know.
stress some other interesting points here. His great-grandfather, that's not too far back, brought industrial capitalism to the country.
Wow, from
Oh,
the
that's
New World.
weird.
He came back aboard a Spanish galleon.
He came aboard a $100 million yacht.
Yeah. Behold these
Wait,
wonders.
that's weird because. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know this was gonna be like a riddle.
Yeah.
Industrial capitalism and pipe tobacco.
These two things just go so great together.
What's industrial
Exactly.
capitalism 100 years ago, a Nazi 40 years ago, and a gamer today? Fuck. I hate this riddle. I can never remember.
Every YouTuber.
Makes sense to me.
All right, we're gonna start. So, come on, European countries, except not Georgia and not
Bulgaria.
because that's-
Yeah.
we
You
published
said
that.
Central European? Yeah.
Central and Eastern European is where he has the telecoms companies, but he also has a Swiss pharma company.
I'm going to say then Slovakia. No, wait. Yeah.
All right, Slovakia.
Wait, I got my guess.
Okay.
Romania.
Ah.
Oh, interesting. That would explain all the Nazism.
And strategically located in Central and
Yeah.
Eastern Europe.
It is, yeah.
But again, I also think that with the Romania thing, they would have been like, leave that chapter in.
I don't know anything, so I'm going to say Poland, based
Cool.
on nothing other than geography.
Yeah.
Yeah, say Slovenia.
All right.
Ooh.
I love how you guys...
Slovenia doesn't have any billionaires. The country is like a
We're all
parking
wrong.
lot
Can
with
we
a
do another
mountain
round
in
of
it.
guesses?
It's like,
You are all wrong.
Ah,
of
shit.
course. Give
Are
us
any of us
another,
close?
We need a hint.
You need a hint. All right. Okay. One of the online games that he made his money, Eve Online. If any of you know it.
That doesn't help me.
No, goddamn it.
Is that a hentai?
It's just this one woman called Eve and she's online.
Yeah, on your yacht.
And then I'm just going to go next door and say Czech Republic.
All right.
I think Czech Republic was richer than 1 billion, right?
Shut up.
I mean, I said Slovenia, and I don't even have
All right,
the
then I'll go
money
Slovakia.
to like do anything.
I picked Slovakia. That was wrong.
You picked Slovakia? Fuck, I wasn't listening.
I'm calling it because I fucking poisoned your brains with going with the oligarchs last week.
Yeah.
This is the furthest west you can go. This is Iceland.
What?
Oh, the financial crisis was a bit of a clue there. But how
Yeah.
come he doesn't own any fucking businesses in Iceland? That's what's really misleading about
But
that.
yeah, seriously, like.
I mean, this sounded very Soviet, like post-Soviet.
Yeah, it
Doesn't
did.
it? Yeah.
But I was very irritated by the fact that
But
he
the
brought like
Nazism thing,
industrial capitalism to, and I was like,
Iceland just
Okay.
used to be sheep farmers very recently.
yeah. And I thought like, okay, nobody did that to any of the Eastern European countries like lately, except for in the 90s by all the nice technocrats.
And Iceland discovered this amazing new business of cheap subprime credit. They really put them on the map.
This is so much better than sheep.
Damn, so much sexier.
Yeah. So I'm going to pronounce this really badly, but Bjorgolfer Thor Bjorgolforsson.
This isn't a real person. Shut up.
Bjorgolfer.
Thor Bjorgolfsson. Wait, so his dad's name is also Bjorgolfer.
Exactly. It's
Why
like
wouldn't you want to pronounce
Björgolfer, Thor, and son of the Björgolfer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
His
nice one.
his great granddad was also called Bjorgolfer.
Why don't you
Great,
guys?
then so it's more
Yeah.
like
It's a dynasty of...
Why don't you guys just read the anglicized version, George Lincoln Rockwell? It's easier to pronounce.
Shit, Iceland. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
so...
I
Björgulfur
understand why they
thought
need the
him
yacht.
listen.
You got to get around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Really sad that he's just stuck on this island now with no yacht.
But yeah, he's kind of famous in the country for having what was called the Ice Save scandal, which was this like savings account that was available in the UK, Iceland, and the Netherlands. And then just after 2008, all the customers just couldn't access it, and now all that money's gone somewhere. Whoops.
Well, he's a gamer, so he knows you have to have your save points, and none of the people there had save points in their bank account.
They didn't autosave.
Yeah, I autosave after every deposit.
Exactly. That maybe that yacht did get built after all. A secret yacht.
And like every other rich person in Europe, he now just lives in London.
Of course.
Yeah.
Welcome, Björgulfur.
I'm kind of sad because he told me before the recording that if any of us got it right, he would give us a company, and we could join and kiss all the homies every morning. So I'm pretty disappointed.
You guys didn't believe me that when we went west, it wouldn't be as buck wild as the people we had from like Georgia and Bulgaria.
I still think that Georgia and what was the last one? Bulgaria?
Yeah, the skull.
Yeah, those were cooler in a different way because this is
because one of the kids
What was
is
the
a
guy
rapper.
from Georgia like? I make all my money from clay
Georgia
pot
was-
wine and
No, he was the former prime minister, the head
Yeah.
of Georgian Dreams.
With albino rapper sons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
his son made a song and it was called like Georgian Dream, and he named his party after the song.
His son is a
amazing.
nationally famous albino rapper.
Yeah, seriously.
amazing.
He's also dating a model, so
He also made his money through banking, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course,
Obviously.
naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Vanilla Ice was Georgian. That's incredible.
And then the Bulgarian guy is a mob boss called the Skull, who owns
The Skull.
Yeah, the Skull, who
Amazing.
owns all of like the ancient artifacts from the ancient society of Thrace.
that's a hobby, I guess.
Incredible.
If you've ever seen any Thracian artifacts, it's on loan from him.
Nice one.
Incredible.
Yeah.
See, those are
sharing.
like
He's
those are
sharing.
flexes that you can't just like match.
Are you
with-
sure you don't
He's a
love?
sworn enemy of Golden Dawn. Give back our artifacts.
How do you not love that? Like, I really love the industrial capitalist dynasty Nazi family from Iceland.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Seriously,
cool,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not nearly as cool as the final boss of Golden Dawn. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Whose artifacts are these, boys? It's time for some Thrace science. Bring
So
me my
yeah,
ancient
on
calipers.
who Thrace truly belongs to, I guess is a good detour into.
Without a Thrace. I can do this all day. This is kind of my level today. Is just like Thrace puns. Thrace in the hole.
So yeah,
There's a
Thrace and
sleeve
its
one
rightful
coming up later,
owners.
I'm assuming.
Oh, certainly. They're just coming out as I think of them.
All right. So with that, we're on to Golden Dawn, are we?
We are on to Golden Dawn.
Yay.
Yes, the greatest political movement in Greece right now.
Do you want the notes?
I haven't pulled up already.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say now because Nick also does the production. This is our only chance to limit Nick so he doesn't go on for like hours about each topic. So we're going to do pot shots. We're going to go through the history, right?
Yeah.
Quick history of Greece.
No. Yo, it all starts with
3 hours
with
later.
the Minoans. 7,000 years
So
ago.
it's something called
Woman who
linear
fucked the
egg.
bull, right?
The cradle of civilization and democracy.
Yeah.
It's a 4-hour rant about how Greek people aren't white.
Yeah.
And a 4-hour rant about
I don't know what I read
90s.
recently.
How I'm gonna go to like Hotep logic about how
Nice one.
Greeks are the only humans. Everyone else is like 96% human and 4% Neanderthal or something else.
Nice.
Yeah.
Truth.
Now that's some real Thrace science, right?
But yeah, so I'll be sure to behave.
You said you could explain the Civil War in 3 minutes.
No, I'm not explaining the Civil War. I'm just going to mention it as.
Okay, but where does our story begin?
Okay, our story.
for
well,
our listeners.
all right.
Our story.
I guess first we have to introduce that Golden Dawn is a party I think that everyone has at least heard of because they're just batshit insane.
Yeah. And they have a very pretty name.
They have a very pretty name, I guess. They're
Sounds like a chain of hotels.
Yeah, going on.
video
yeah, I'm
of
pretty
Donald
sure
Trump
like
in it.
yeah, everyone's more or less familiar with that there's a neo-Nazi party in Greece that is, climbing the ladder and more or less just staying at 8%, but still nonetheless is the third largest political party in Greece at the moment. And they kind of just like popped out of nowhere, but have also then simultaneously have been just like renaming themselves for like 20 or 30 years. And
the Blackwater tactic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, weren't
they
they
are
like
literally
active as like real Nazi party, and then they
Yeah.
started to get all parliamentary about it and started renaming
Yeah.
and yeah.
But they always have been like, since they've been renaming themselves, been kind of
Yeah.
been getting better at like also changing their image to be less Nazi,
Yeah, of
which
course,
is
because
which is
you-
hard to imagine
yeah.
when your
The
logo
P. Diddy tactic.
when your logo just literally looks like if a Greek party was a Nazi party.
At least they kept the logo.
The Nazi shit, I'm done with it. I'm still fascist though.
We only have
Yeah,
enough.
literally though.
You just
It's
gotta,
like that Greek
twist it
repeating
around
tile pattern, but it's swastikas.
Look, we only have enough in the budget for a renaming, but we can't do rebranding. All right.
Yeah,
Gotta keep the
that's the real.
Otherwise, people won't recognize us.
That's the real
It's not a
fascist
logo
mindset.
mark.
Like what the meander? They're like it's an important Greek symbol. It's on like Philip II's shield or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the big logic is to be like, no, actually the swastika was prominent in ancient Greece. The archaeologists don't tell you because they
Yeah,
don't want you to
Greek
know.
Hotep.
So we're bringing it back.
Alexander the Greek who gave it. Alexander the Great who gave it to the Indians.
Yeah.
So, Alexander the Greek is the guy who sells you weed.
Like, I do actually love that Golden Dawn's logo is. You know those hilarious like compilations of photos of people trying to graffiti swastikas, but they forgot what swastikas
Yeah,
look
exactly.
like?
Yeah, exactly.
That is what the
Yeah.
Golden Dawn logo
Okay,
is.
which way does it go? Like, I don't know. Let's go both ways.
Damn,
Yeah.
a very weird flex.
So yeah, their flex has always been like, how neo-Nazi can we be without saying that we're Nazis? So now they've just called themselves like Metaxaists, which is like not a thing.
They love that liqueur.
Yeah, they fucking love Metaxa. So I guess that's like kind of like where I have to start.
Yeah,
the little
please.
story
Yeah.
from is that so Golden Dawn takes their whole history from what the fuck's his name? General Metaxas. Ioannis or Ionius Metaxas? I can't fucking remember his name. Doesn't matter. He's a bitch. But his like claim to fame is that he was a Nazi who really wanted to be a Nazi, but the British wouldn't let him be a Nazi. So,
Damn.
Yeah. So when
Should have been in the royal family.
when the Italians come in 1936 or whatever.
They're always coming.
Yeah. They're just, just busting on Greeks' back walls,
Mm-hmm.
But so when the Italians come in, whatever the fuck that year is, there's this really stupid story about how then Metaxas says, no, you can't come. Even though he really liked the Nazis and he really liked Mussolini.
Oki Day.
Yeah, Oki Day, exactly.
Classic.
So there's a day that then where he says no, and then, he really wanted to be a part of this thing.
But it's that kind of no where it's like...
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. So
it was
they,
a test to see if you were still.
they defeat the Italians, and the Germans come back after he's already dead in 1941, and they go buck wild and do that whole thing.
Because there was no one to say no.
Yeah,
So he was the leader of Greece under Italian occupation.
no.
Still,
There was
or
never
he
Italian occupation in Greece.
Yeah.
Explain it,
Like
please.
briefly, there wasn't some parts of
That would
islands
be
that
weird
then
for you, wouldn't it?
it'd be very weird. But yeah,
Like, the
no,
Italians were like Don Jr. They were like given little
Half
bits to
Italian,
like, okay,
half
now you can play with the Ionian Islands.
yeah.
Is
But
this
so-
Mussolini taking a selfie of himself? We're like, here I am with all my friends in Greece, totally in charge here.
And he's just wearing
so when
like a
it comes-
pound shop
But I
Italian.
thought so. But
officer's
he was the leader of Greece from 36
from 36 to 41,
Okay.
and it was like Greece is still at this time like a British protectorate. So he like I said, he really wanted to join the Nazis, and has all these speeches where he's like, dude, like National Socialism is fucking cool. He's like, I really wish I could be a part of this, but like I also have to be really nice to the British too, because they kind of gave them independence in quotes.
Kind of.
Yeah,
So
fuck you, Mom.
he dies. Greece goes
be a
under Nazi
Nazi.
occupation. And there's this big romantic story about how no Greeks, collaborated with the Nazis. Bullshit. Lots of Greeks collaborated.
Bullshit.
And Golden Dawn is fucking proud of that. Golden
yeah.
Dawn, a lot of their members will be like, my great grandparents had to do what they had to do, and it was fucking cool. And they wanted to just make Greece better by working with the Nazis. Where the traditional rhetoric is like, no Greeks like the Nazis. So Civil War happens. It kind of divided up, obviously, far right and far left. Golden Dawn, obviously, is very much in favor of this far right that then never really kind of takes charge until the 60s with the
Wait, but how does the Civil War end?
the communists lose, NATO's formed. Bada bing, bada boom.
No.
The rest.
Hey, yo.
Still some Italian influence, I guess, in
Yeah,
Greece.
still. But this is the thing. I don't want to go too far in depth. with
Yeah,
it
I know,
because-
just-
But so the Civil
Yeah.
War ends. The communists lose. The KKE are banned in 1947, right before the Civil War even ends, and the rhetoric becomes very much pro-American and very right-wing in Greece. And there's kind of like a new culture of Greece that's also like written around this time that's very fabricated. And when the military coup comes in the 60s and stays into the 70s, obviously massive repression through the police and military. Also kind of like this return to like this great Greece of Metaxas. And so the founding member of Golden Dawn, who all these names I'm going to fucking butcher, but is Nikolaos Michaloliakos. I got it. He is one of the members of this like organization of the jailed junta leaders. And so he's like, these guys are cool. Like, I personally identify myself as a National Socialist. Like, already kind of at the beginning had these very Nazi beliefs, and found like solace with having communication with the jailed members of the then overthrown junta.
Yeah, but the junta came about in what, 67 or something?
67 to 75, I think.
Yeah, so that's the first
74.
time the like far right takes power in
the
Greece since the
military,
Civil War.
yeah.
Yeah, the military. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I mean, like, yeah. So to be fair, the general consensus of Greece at that time was right wing, obviously, because it was a U.S. Like NATO puppet state sort of thing that had a massively strong communist movement that's exterminated. Like, you have to imagine that in 1944, Kappa Kappa Epsilon's membership is at like over 500,000 for a country of like 6 million people. So like. Wow. It's a massive movement towards the right that then happens with a lot of purges and all that kind of stuff in the Civil War, and then a lot of purges that then come during the junta. And I'm sorry to everyone if I got the dates wrong. I do not have them in front of me, and I am bad with these things.
I have some like limited. I did classics, and I have some limited modern Greek history because I did this modern Greek paper. And I remember there was the government before the military junta was obsessed with trying to make everyone speak this dialect of Greek that no one actually spoke, called Katharevousa, which is like basically like biblical ancient Greek, and like no one could speak it, but it was like the official language of the government. So like all the courts were in it, and all the fucking legal documents were in it, and it was literally no one's native language. It was like this weird fucking made up.
Greek finally got actually like their own language then, like I think 10 years ago or so, or 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, because I think the junta basically made like Democratic, whatever it's called. The main
Demontic or whatever. It's
called,
like
Demotic, the main language, Demotic.
Oh, right.
But Greece didn't have an official language. Like, I mean, most countries don't have official languages, but there was like a not like official bureaucratic language of Greece.
Yeah.
But
you had to wear a pom-pom on your shoe to speak it.
It was involved in one of the weirder, harder sounds to make.
I have a picture of me in one of those outfits when I was a kid.
I've seen it. Oh my god.
Having a great time here guarding the Greek Parliament.
Okay, we gotta put that
you're in your bed, Nick.
That was a nice dress you were wearing.
It's cute, yeah.
Yeah, it was cute.
So yeah, that's kind of where we are, and that's where we have our just hilarious, not hilarious cast of characters who come in who are just fucking insane. Yes. So yeah.
So I want to point out, because people can't see this at home, but in the document you sent us of all this research, this guy you've been talking about, Nicholas
Michaloliakos.
Okay.
Wait, where is it?
Yeah, it's down here. This is why I couldn't work on this.
Oh, he's dressed up as Prince Harry. That's very cute.
Yeah, so he's cool. He is
for the people at home, he is doing a Roman salute, if they would call it that, in front of a swastika, which I believe is an ancient Hindu symbol.
And he's wearing a swastika on there.
More.
He believes in reincarnation.
Oh, yeah, it's fine, yeah.
And he's pointing up there.
Has that like
Yeah, it just
bad
means
stuff.
shrine in Japanese. You see it on maps there. It's fine.
Yeah, he's pointing out there.
He's
and
very
saying,
multicultural.
Vishnu, that's my guy. Looking down on me from the heavens.
Over there.
Peace.
Vishnu.
Yeah, exactly.
He just wants to bring multiculturalism. To
Raise your hand if you love Hinduism.
So this is why I couldn't work on this document while I was in the office.
It's okay.
because I put my computer.
No, it's ironic. It's Hinduism, first of all. And second of all, it's ironic.
Yeah, in any other country you could have pulled that document up perfectly fine. In
Not
Germany,
here.
you pull that up on your desktop.
Yeah, and you're gone.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Rightfully so.
But
there's 2 or 3 people that come up to you and be like, "See me afterwards." You've got some of those pictures too.
It's just the movie Office Space, but every so often it's just a guy being like, so I need you to be a Nazi by the end of the workday.
Can need you to come in and salute on Saturday.
Yeah, no, the reason I put that in there is because it was always this kind of like, again, like Golden Dawn, changing their vibe, changing their look. But there's so many pictures out there that are very easy just tied, like, dude, like, Nicky Mickey is a fucking Nazi. Look, I can't, like,
yes, I love that his name's Nicky Mickey. Stop humanizing this monster.
Yeah. So he starts this organization, actually has a magazine just called Golden Dawn in the mid 80s.
Nice.
And then get some traction. It's cool. It's a very pro-junta magazine of a thing that doesn't exist anymore. But
I'm tired of reading all this anti-junta propaganda that you get in
I know.
magazines like Cosmo.
We need a magazine.
And Living
that actually-
Marxism.
you hate to see it, folks. You hate to go to the kiosk and see just smearing the lead generals.
Yeah,
of literally
Why
one of
is
the generals'
PC
names.
Gamer so anti-junta?
One of the lead generals' names was literally fucking George Papadopoulos. Like.
Georgie Paps.
Yeah, these fucking
Nicky
just
Mickey and Georgie
caricatures.
Paps.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of anti-junta tropes being spread around here. You're gonna
Yeah.
Don't like it. But
problematic.
luckily, we got Nicky Mickey to set people right
Nicky
and to
Mickey.
join Golden Dawn in the 80s.
I used to live with a girl in Moscow who had a cat that she didn't want, but it was her ex-boyfriend's cat, and he'd like left her, and he'd also just left the cat, and the cat was called Junta. This cat was the fucking it was the most appropriate name for this cat ever. It just used to like attack you at will and like draw blood.
No one really wanted it. There wasn't really a process to remove the
No,
cat.
it had been left behind by sort of previous regime.
But at least, you had someone defending this cat.
Oh, exactly, yeah. I mean, the cat would not let those magazines in the house.
Yeah.
2-page spread of his cat in the Golden Dawn magazine.
Yeah. So, Golden Dawn, though, back to, our lovely, zine creator over here.
Well, they're just making it sound like the local
Influencer.
punk scene
Yes.
is just like...
Yeah, no.
Finding
Yeah.
his own zine.
Okay,
No,
he was. I
was
guarantee.
really-
Like, I haven't seen a copy of this magazine, but I was imagining just
DIY.
like trying to make, either using that really stereotypical ancient Greek font to write
Yeah.
everything, or trying to make Greek look like German. Like, there's only two
So
ways.
was
that-
it kind of like professional, or was it more like Samizdat or something? Was it more like DIY?
I don't know what
Okay.
DIY fascism looks like. I kind of don't
neither.
want to know, but
Flat pack fascism. Swedish fascism.
DIY fascism.
yeah. Nonetheless, there's this magazine, and it doesn't become an official political party until the 90s. Still, like, very much on the back of being an openly National Socialist movement, and it gets disbanded in like the mid 2000s, but then to be reborn, if you will, in like 2011, 2012, I
They
think.
love their rebirth, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They do, baby.
And
It's a new dawn.
he so reforms in 2007, and they eventually then come into parliament in, I believe, 2012 or 2013. Kieran probably knows the number better than I do.
I think it's 2012.
It's 2012.
2012 then, yeah. Whenever the last
2013 was the big crackdown, which we'll get to.
yeah, but then so they finally
Love that
make
you guys
it in.
all actually do the research before you do.
No,
no, because there's like
Our
there's
show
so
is
many
just like
fucking-
Riley saying stuff and us going like, I guess.
Yeah,
We've not looked into it. Fine, if you say so.
yeah. I don't care. The date does not matter because they suck regardless, and they're still in Greek parliament.
It doesn't matter when they suck. They always.
Yeah. So
Time is a flat circle and Golden Dawn always sucks.
yeah,
They got into Parliament in the bad year.
yeah. The troubles.
It's hard to pick out the bad year.
And they got into power into Derry. It's called Derry. Don't look at it the other way.
Golden Dairy.
Golden Derry.
Yeah. So now, when they get into Parliament, you'd think that they would kind of clean up their act a bit, but no. Like Nicky Mickey has just gone like ham sometimes, just saying the Holocaust never happened and shit like that. And a really cool.
But if it did happen, it would have been good.
yeah, and always
I love
kind
that
of
argument.
yeah, always
Yeah.
kind of then like their argument against that is a tactic that they have of like, well, why does it matter? Because no Greeks were killed in the Holocaust, which is also not
That is
true.
not
but they were all
true.
communists.
Oh.
So they're not Greeks.
So yeah, so exactly. So then they always go back to the thing of like, You know, like, why don't we have a discussion about then the Greek genocide that isn't internationally recognized? Which is, like, also true, but it's not the fucking, thing that you then use to trump the Holocaust.
No, Nick, there only gets to be one genocide, and you have to pick.
Yeah.
It's you can have Holocaust or Armenian or Greek. Those are.
It's a weird...
Gotta make a decision.
It's just a weird quirk of the video game. You can only really carry one genocide at a time. All the backpack is full of these...
But, like, literally,
approaches.
Golden Dawn goes around to then people who, like, honestly, like there is, again, like I said, there is a discussion to be had about that, and they're just like, yo, Holocaust doesn't fucking matter. We got to talk about this genocide and ask for reparations from Turkey. Which is, like, I could imagine for a lot of Greek people who feel disenfranchised, it's like, okay, like, that sounds cool. Like, that sounds like, they can maybe get, again, with their visuals changing so often and their rhetoric changing so often, being less openly neo-Nazi, but then also at the same time being extremely neo-Nazi is kind of, we'll talk about that later too, with like how like now they've been grabbing onto like former like Nea Demokratia voters and stuff like that.
It's very hard though to convince people that the Turks are capable of genocide. No form for that whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. Definitely. But there's definitely a precedence for them recognizing genocides and then, paying reparations. That's definitely gonna
100%.
happen. Yeah. They're very reasonable about that, the Turks.
Very, very much so. But yeah, so but Nicky Mickey is not alone in this. He also has his daughter, who like is like the minister of propaganda for Golden Dawn, which is absolutely hilarious because she literally just like calls out fatwas all the time, but, like Greek fatwas.
Greek fatwas, a feta.
But yeah, her name, I'm also not going to be able to pronounce it, is... Oh, no, Urania. That's a pretty normal-ass fucking name. So, yeah.
Well, you say
Urania?
Yeah, seriously. Doesn't sound normal to me.
But,
Sounds like a Rihanna album track. Yeah, fuck. I feel like a Greek fatwa can only be carried out between the hours of like 3 and 4 p.m. Because like the rest of the time people are either like drinking or asleep.
It's too hot to do a fatwa right now.
We are busy throwing a donkey off a church roof. I cannot kill these enemies of the Greek state right now.
Unless it's this donkey.
Yeah. If it happens to be the donkey, okay. We're going to kill him anyway.
I got that hit too hard for home for the actual Greek.
I got it. The donkey is a communist, okay? Look, he's sharing the air with the other donkeys.
Yeah, he works for free, he gets food for free.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I once saw him with a yarmulke. Look, I'm just saying.
Arania.
Nick, you have to break out your Greek accent. You can't be one.
No, I can't meet that. I can't meet like fucking.
Was I doing the accent? I'm
mountain
Greek.
I can't meet mountain dwelling Golden Dawn member.
Mountain dwelling. Well, that's where you throw the donkey off the church. That's a mountain
You
tradition.
can't throw a donkey off in the plains. What are you, mad?
No, and certainly not in Athens. It would be a health hazard.
No.
Yeah. So his daughter just like has like radio shows and does all this shit and is like very like kind of out there just promoting the message. And I just for some reason I just find that really funny that she like every so often just calls for how Greeks need to shed blood for the
Greece?
Greek dream for Greece
Georgian dream.
for the Georgian
For the
dream.
Georgian dream.
She's just very pro menstruation. It's very body positive. It's a good message.
Well, then in that case, it's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm a Golden Dawn fucker now.
Yeah. We're gonna go and menstruate on Turkey. Bring it on, bitch.
We're gonna menstruate in Constantinople. We're gonna menstruate in the Black Sea.
We're gonna menstruate in Macedonia, which doesn't exist.
We're gonna menstruate in Albania.
Which is where Thessaloniki is.
But
Menstruate in Albania. An indie rock album from 2007. New from The National.
But yeah,
So it's cool. She's calling out fatwas and calling for people to.
Yeah.
To
But I
die
guess
for the
wait,
cause.
it would be jihad then, not a fatwa. Fatwa would be against someone else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was calling out fatwas too. No.
Could be, yeah. I mean, like
Can you call,
Golden
like, a
Dawn.
fatwa
Golden Dawn
against, like,
does,
several
as we're
people?
gonna see, Golden Dawn calls out a lot of fucking fatwas, particularly against anarchists and communists.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Ah.
And particularly why 22 members of Golden Dawn have been arrested, and some of them are still pending
Yep.
on trial, just like Nicky Mickey is pending on trial for a murder still.
I'm getting
Yeah.
death threats for my Twitter name being Zorba the Turk.
Surprisingly, I got no death threats for all this dinner. It got me feeling like Greek Erdogan.
Yeah.
Although you did get run off Twitter the first time because of too many Turkish nationalists.
Too many Turkish, like Northern Cyprus Turkish nationalists just went buck wild on me.
I'd imagine that's where they're most entrenched. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
constantly.
And I think that
defend
most of them are
themselves.
just bots, and it's just all like, yo, like, we're going to drown you. I'm like, okay.
Love to invade northern Cyprus. The bit of Cyprus that's weirdly closer to Greece.
Also closer to Turkey.
Yeah. Interesting.
Pick which one.
Yeah. Well, it's all Turkey, isn't it? So I
Yeah,
guess
it is.
It's all closer to
Greece
Turkey.
is Turkey, and that may or may not include Cyprus. I haven't developed that in my, Balkan Hotep knowledge yet. But
Third position, we give Cyprus to Lebanon. It's fine.
or back to the
Yeah.
British. I mean,
That's
you know.
new.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, Greek Cyprus is basically still British, isn't it? Most of it's a fucking British army.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know he's Greek.
And the rest of it is like fake
Who?
banks.
George Michael.
Yeah.
No, Prince Philip
Oh, yeah, and George
Yeah.
Michael.
and George Michael
Yeah.
also. But
Both are
I can't
facts.
tell if you're just really confused with the British monarchy now or not.
No.
And George Michael.
Isn't
No,
his real
George
name-
Michael was openly
Royalty.
gay.
Isn't George
He was
Michael's real
royalty,
name like
though.
Kyriakos or something like
Yeah,
that?
Yeah, he's Greek, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so my last, but certainly not least, favorite member of fucking Golden Dawn. And I sent this video around to you guys.
oh, is it?
Yes.
Is it the boy?
It is the boy who.
Oh, it is the boy.
It is
Makes
Elias
all the like fat.
Kassidiaris.
Oh shit.
And holy shit, this guy,
He's like the
he's a
beau-
nasty bitch.
He's the bow of Golden Dawn, like he, right? Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it,
yeah, like
he
all
makes all the like old women
Get wet.
get wet for him.
He's the bad boy of the group, so he's like Zayn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
this is
He's
Okay.
gonna spin
He's
off.
like,
you're just describing Il Divo. Do you guys remember Il Divo, the like opera group that my granny was like?
Oh, yeah, the Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I-
blonde.
There's like pop opera, which is a whole genre of music that people are always very surprised always keeps coming back up in the Eurovision.
Doesn't
You're like,
Il Divo in Italian just mean like the dude? And it was like 4 dudes.
but one of them is the dude.
The dude is one of the bad boy of
I
the
don't
group.
think which one.
Elias Kassidiaris. He's Il Divo.
Yeah.
He is. Seriously.
But holy shit, he is a nasty boy. I
Yeah.
think that we've all seen the video where he just fucking just slapped someone on TV. Like a member
Oh, that's
of-
him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
I
then
Yes.
like tired eyes and shit.
yeah. So first thing is he gets in a fight with like a slapping fight with one of the members of the Greek Communist Party.
Yeah.
Disappears immediately after, like runs off set, goes and hides, comes back the next day, has a press conference with all of his, Golden Dawn thugs behind him, and and has a lawsuit against the member of KKE for defamation.
That's classic asymmetric warfare, guerrilla slapping.
Yeah.
You get in, slap, you run away, you blame someone else.
They're like shouting at each other, and it gets very like Jerry Springer, and they're both like climbing across the table, and then like she
Yeah.
throws a glass of water over him,
Yeah.
and then he just like
No,
cracks her across the
that
face
was a member
twice.
from like the thing is so that was a member of Syriza who threw the water. No, he threw the water at
Yeah.
someone from Syriza, and then just starts going buck
okay.
wild on the KKE member.
Wait.
Ah.
like
And
we,
So he threw water and then slapped someone.
Yeah, he threw
It's
water
like-
at someone else and
Yeah,
then
it's like,
slapped.
boy,
it's
has
a classic
temper.
tactic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
diversion, and then
It was-
Exactly,
We,
yeah.
we did that in the Irish War of Independence. We throw water at some of the loyalists,
And then we slap
a British military, and then run away, and then sue them for defamation.
And then stop for a spice bag.
Stop for a sweatshirt.
Exactly.
So he's also kind of like one of the other spokespeople of Golden Dawn as well.
He's
so
the adopted son of the
he's the
Nicky Mickey.
Of what?
He's Nicky Mickey's adopted son.
Yeah,
The
because
son he
Nicky
never had.
Mickey and a lot of his goons have too bad of a reputation, continuously being in jail for murdering people.
That's a bad rap.
Continuously being in jail made it sound they were in jail like often for like minor offences. It's one jail term. It's a life jail term. They murdered a lot of people.
It's like those interviews you see on YouTube or like radio shows where they interview like mob members, and it's like, this is how I had to grind to get where I was, and he's just giving tactics like, all right, so you're going to be committing a lot of murders, so have a different guy who will be your PR person because you're busy committing murder.
Don't murder.
And they're like,
Yeah.
and all the YouTube comments are just like, this is real boss shit.
Yeah.
Look, the thing about murdering people is you got to have a schedule. Because that shit can get on top of you. If you forget to murder the right guy, he's going to murder you. Got to bear that in mind.
That's some smart insight.
I'm on board with this 12-step program.
You got to carry a glass of water and a firm, open hand slap.
It's like a workshop. All right, now let's practice. There's all these people walking around with water.
Water with your right hand. Slap with
Throw water at people.
Mickey the Greek. I've been living in Brooklyn for 45 years, and this is my self-defense workshop.
Of course, I'm a Golden Dawn supporter.
Yeah. I'm actually
Oh,
Italian.
you mentioned like all
there's
right.
a Golden
No
Dawn.
joke. Golden Dawn has a massive network of getting Greek
The
people,
Australian Greeks.
Australian Greeks
Seriously?
to vote for Golden Dawn.
Sorry to say this.
Yes!
Australian Greeks are the worst.
Australian Greeks may be the worst.
Let's-
Australian Greeks are such a powerful energy for right-wingness.
Okay, because Australians in general are already the worst. It's like a bunch of British
We-
people left out in the sun.
We
for too
went
long.
abroad to learn more powerful racism.
And
I
then
actually
if you
love
put, like, some
Australians.
other
It's
Europeans
God's own
in that
country.
You just end up like breeding the worst kind
Golden
of
Dawn
people.
members.
Well, hey,
You
on
can
that
also
fucking
vote in
island
elections in Greece.
That is
Yeah.
I
supposed
don't
to be a
think-
fucking continent, but it's not. It's just like Europeans rotting in the sun and burning
Well,
their brains.
let's not bury the lead here. The Australian
Okay, I like
elections today.
Australians.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, today.
So
Oh.
yeah, let's shout out
Golden
all
Dawn?
of our Golden Dawn. Get out there, get to the polls.
Vote
Remember-
Golden Dawn, #1 Australian election.
I mean, you could literally vote for worse people in the Australian election.
You remember that lawyer girl?
Yeah.
She's Greek. And
Yeah,
like her
and
full
she's also
fucking-
Australian. She
she's
was left
also-
in
she's
she was left in the
Australian.
sun too long.
She's Greek.
And horrible.
She really supports this really like charismatic kind of like conservative guy that
You mean Elias?
kind
I
of,
thought you
but-
meant Scott
but,
Morrison.
like a very Australian version of that. And she's like, oh yeah, my yaya supported this guy, and
Yeah.
as
The,
well as
the
I
party
do,
is
and-
called Golden Dawn. We're talking about them right now.
We all love Yaya Hitler. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed following the Australian election just because Scott Morrison is like a Playmobil prime minister. He's just going around and he's just like saying like Malibu Stacy type shit. Like he's going around going like, I believe that Australia is a promise to every Australian to be an Australian. And it's like, wow, Scott, thank you.
That is BDE right there.
I know, it's like incredibly strong stuff. Like just like meaningless, just like word porridge.
So
I'd vote for that.
I haven't said that. I've said this off the podcast several times. I haven't said it yet because this is something that continuously comes up, especially when we talk like Italian Americans.
What are you doing?
Especially when we talk. Yeah. Especially when we talk about like Italian Americans, Greek Australians, and it just keeps going back. It's like, this is why Irish people don't allow foreign voting.
Yeah, you shouldn't. It
We
is the
gave all
worst
our
thing.
passports to a bunch of Irish Americans in the like 70s and 60s,
Bad
and then
idea.
we were like, "Oh no, this is how we get a right wing. They can't
Yeah.
vote."
I do not ask my mom who she voted for in Italian elections. I do not want to know.
Does she like
She
she
Hey,
she
the
literally-
sex party.
she's like Liga or something?
What?
Is it like Liga or?
I don't know. I
Make a
don't
noise.
know,
Oh,
and I
maybe
don't
she's
care.
more like 5 stars.
The
No,
southern
your
US is
mom-
like life begins at conception, and the Italian South is like sexual maturity begins at conception.
Like, okay, so is your mom more
Quite
of a
accurate.
like? Is she more into like an anti-vaxxing tech
No,
company?
No.
Or
but
is
she doesn't. She doesn't actually pay. The thing that's
No,
even
she's
worse
not
is
that,
that
like,
none of them
super-
actually pay attention to Italian politics either. Like, do you think that fucking big time Tommy's being like, "Hey, yo, baby, Matteo Salvini"?
Time to vote for Lega Nord. The Italian party's so racist, it's racist against other Italians.
But the thing about all this diaspora voting is that it is kind of the like platonic ideal of the culture war. Like
Yeah.
like the structure of the
Yeah,
culture
you
war is
know,
to
I
get
love
you
the
to
co-
like to like not care about quote unquote politics. You're voting on these like
No, it's
things that you can't actually
100%
control.
identity.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what.
And
like
so
Mike,
it's like
like
an
for
even purer
example,
form of that. Like the ideal would be if you could run a country and have literally all of your like voting citizens be elsewhere. Like that would be the perfect structure of like
Yeah.
I can do whatever
Yeah.
the hell I want. I'm just gonna have people vote based on identity.
And that's and that I mean like Golden Dawn and Lega all
Works
them
for
definitely
Turkey, by the way.
works for
Yeah,
Turkey,
it
by
was-
the way.
Yeah.
Works for Brazil,
Like, Erdogan
China.
would
Works
probably
in
not
Berlin,
be.
works in fucking Frankfurt, works in...
Yeah. Erdogan would not
Works.
be as powerful as he is right now if it probably was not for like how many
for
German
German
Turks can vote
Turks,
in those
yeah.
elections.
Yeah.
Like it's like millions of people.
Yeah, seriously. Like, if you compare the votes for Erdogan in Berlin and in Istanbul, you see like in Istanbul, there's like, they didn't vote for Erdogan, and in Berlin, it's like,
but you
yeah.
think that?
Huh?
We're gonna have another.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a re-election. Okay, yeah, sorry, of course, like
Yeah.
100% AKP.
How did that happen? Oh.
Oh well,
Or isn't it always 96%?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean you gotta.
But, like,
cut
in
some
all
slack
serious-
for the-
Like to your point about identity, entirely true. Because like for example, my cousin like was not allowed to date guys who weren't Greek.
No, she
And that-
does.
Yeah, and now she does, but like because she was the one in the family that they had like that my family had kind of like the most control over.
So
They
it
said
was going to
things
be like my cousin wasn't allowed to date guys because that's fucking gay.
yeah.
He's like,
also
but Dad,
gay.
I'm a
Also
girl.
that too.
Shut up.
I won't hear anything about it.
You're going to date other girls because that's what's being straight.
But like there is definitely that very, very, very old world mentality amongst just like most diaspora groups.
Yeah.
So
No, like say Irish Americans are just—I've said it before in the podcast—, complete trash.
yeah.
All of them.
Oh boy,
I've never-
aren't they
No, I've
just?
never heard like Irish people saying you can only date an Irish.
Oh God, no. We need the gene pool needs a shot in the arm. Ireland, the west of Ireland is accepting applications from
Yeah.
all Polish people right the fuck now.
Oh yeah.
Bring that kielbasa over here, baby.
So, since we're on the topic of diaspora, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Nick, or to get into is how the
Greek word.
the Greek right, like how they're like seen by the like growing international right wing movement, because like you have like Stefan Molyneux going to Poland and like crying because it's so beautiful, so they love Poland. They screech about white genocide in
Yeah,
South
I'm
Africa.
surprised that he's not gone to Greece yet.
But
and been
Greece,
like-
they never go to Greece. It seems like even Ukraine and all these things. But Greece is kind of like I don't know what the deal
because
is.
Greece is kind of like a two.
Are we sure Stefan
Like-
Molyneux thinks Greek people are white?
That's what I'm saying.
he doesn't.
That probably
No,
not.
I think he
Question.
doesn't. I think he only loved the real like Slavic people or something like that.
But
So
weird that
everything
even
is
Stefan
Balkan,
Molyneux flexes
kind
on
of.
that because Slavic people aren't white, obviously.
Exactly. They were outbred by the Mongol Tatars, and they've been tainted ever since.
I'm gonna lose all of my potential jobs in like Eastern European studies or something.
What is that, Yulia? That you said a few episodes about how the Slavs need to be enslaved in order to make sparkle?
I said Italians.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh yeah, well that's fine. They were the first slaves
But-
anyway.
No, so there is like the thing that's so weird is that you have this like international, especially now with the EU elections coming, you see this like courting that's going on between different right wing members, and Golden Dawn's like not really been a part of that. They've been kind of very proud of being the fact that they're just there to like fuck up Greek politics, and they actually also get a seventh of Greece's seats for the European Parliament. So they still have, I mean, given they only have like 20 or 21 seats, but their main deal has just been to, you know, fuck shit up, not really make coalitions. No one in Greece will make coalitions with them. But recently that's kind of changing because now Elias, what's his last name? Kassadiaris, where the fuck it
yeah.
is. He's been admiring Salvini
Yeah.
and has really been like, oh,
I've seen your work.
yeah, you know,
See, that's so interesting.
Game,
That's
respect
very
game.
fascinating, yeah.
and he really like Golden Dawn being a radical actual neo-Nazi movement also does recognize too that they have to, you know, not clean up their act because they still really love the violence, they still really love murdering people.
Well, that's the fun stuff. That's what you
The-
get
yeah,
into
yeah,
being
yeah.
neo-Nazi for.
That's some grassroots.
Well,
You know,
no,
sometimes you can forget when you're in something too long. You forget why you really loved it, and
Yeah,
you loved it
exactly,
because you were
yeah.
murdering people.
So
You
I,
didn't get into neo-Nazis for the money, for the fame.
I remember this very rich guy in Ireland trying to convince his daughter not to like vote for Sinn Féin because of the economic reasons. I'm like, well, hang on, if you can remove the economic reasons, you're just voting for terrorists.
It was actually quite interesting that a long time, people didn't care of what Golden Dawn was doing. because it was just in quotes like refugees they were murdering. So
Yeah.
it was in Athens.
They were never reported half
and
the time
in
either. Like
Athens
we don't know
and
all the
in,
victims.
Here.
P.S.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, and the police was kind of like okay with that. So
A lot of them are members of Golden Dawn.
exactly.
Oh.
So people were like beat up in the street and shit like that, and they went to like the police station, and then they were like captivated in the police station, saying like, "What are you fucking doing here? Like you're not even legal," and beat them even like up.
Yeah,
even
torture
more.
them and then leave
Torture
them
them,
like in the middle
exactly.
of like nowhere and
Yeah,
shit like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Like, and the only place actually like to go somewhere like for a person like experience that kind of shit is Exarchia, for example.
Which is also kind of having a lot of crackdowns right now from the police. and
Yeah.
whatnot. Like last time that
Wait,
we were
they-
there.
For anyone
Yeah,
who doesn't know,
but they're
can you give a
standing-
brief intro to Exarchia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we should right
Exarchia
now,
pretty
yeah.
much is a district in Athens that
It's kind of like autonomous.
I don't know actually when it became as occupied as it is, but I think it starts gaining prominence obviously in like the 2000s if I'm not mistaken.
But I mean, I thought it went back to like the Polytechnic, like.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Polytech.
That all right,
The Polytech is
the
in
Polytechnic
Exarchia, yeah.
the Polytechnic
Yeah.
University is
Okay,
there.
gotta, like crack down on that history right
Yeah,
now
yeah,
because
so-
it's
Yeah, so sorry, I should have put this in my little thing about the junta is that then you have the protests that start at the Polytechnic University in Athens in 1974 that then kind of more or less bleed over into them
The
losing.
SJ Dubs.
Yeah, the fucking SJ Dubs ruined the beautiful.
They
military
can't. They
junta.
just want to save space. They
Yeah.
can't handle freedom of speech.
But
We're all
so,
very concerned about free speech in the junta.
yeah. But ever since that those wave of protests started and overthrew the government, that area has always been a hot
Yeah.
spot for far left wing
so
movement.
since
Anarchist,
November
yeah.
of 1973.
Yeah.
Like since the Polytech incident, like the riot against the junta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so more or less now it is just like a lot of like squatted houses and stuff like that. It still holds a very, left wing vibe. And the thing that then is a lot of tourist people think it's really unsafe.
It's fucking the safest place in whole Athens.
Yeah, but if depending on but if you're a migrant in Athens and you don't want to get fucking beat up by Golden Dawn members who are kind of in a lot of areas, especially like in the suburbs and whatnot, then like you can go here and be safe. And it's been very important for
Because there's a square. Yeah, there's a square, and it was supposed supposed to be a parking lot, and people in Exarchia were actually like protesting against that and were squatting the square and shit like that. And right now, like it's a place where you can go. Like if you don't have a home or anything like that, if you just arrived in Piraeus and you just arrived in Europe,
Yeah.
like from some.
You get free healthcare, you get housing, as long as you're just not fascist.
yeah.
Basically,
Yeah. And
But-
you can hang out there.
Damn, but what
Nobody
a
will
what a
fucking-
condition.
Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
So hard to meet.
But then,
Nobody can,
so
like,
there's unfortunately there is a twist to this. Exarchia is becoming a very massive hotspot for
Yep.
Chinese real estate investment,
Yep.
Oh.
and
The
the
Chinese.
Greek government
Hell, classic.
is
They're socialist.
right.
Yeah.
kind of like
famously.
that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, so you'll go and just see that then like I think there was like I don't know like 1,000 apartments were just bought by one Chinese real
Yeah.
estate mogul in
For a cost of
Exarchia.
1,000 euros.
I mean, that's shitty, yeah, because a lot of like, and it gets quite like trendy and known about now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a Huffington Post article about Exarchia. It's
There's like a Vice article about like
yeah.
like go clubbing and stuff
oh,
like
this
that.
is fucking edgy, and
Yeah.
wow, you're afraid of like street riots? Well, it's not like that anymore. Now there's like cool
Those-
cafes, and you can like listen to jazz when you have your.
They
Listen
still-
to jazz while you riot.
Nice.
It's my favorite kind of riot. I actually did once get
about the
caught
cars
up
you
in a
don't
street
burn.
riot in Athens.
Oh yeah, we got tear gassed in Athens.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
we
fucking
got
cool.
tears, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't get tear gas,
Yeah.
but because we left.
That's
We were
actually
on
some-
Syntagma Square in it was like September
September,
2011,
yeah.
which was a tense period.
Oh, yeah. For reasons. Who
And
knows
suddenly
why.
we were like, oh, there's suddenly a lot of angry people around.
Actually, you got to talk about that because that's actually something that's
Yeah,
very
that
related.
is very related to Golden Dawn.
Yeah.
We are going all over the place. That's cool.
So,
This will be fun to
Pavlos,
edit.
are we
Hell
going-
yeah.
You still haven't mentioned the Elders of Zion thing.
Oh yeah, fuck. God damn.
Okay,
yeah.
let's go.
Why not?
Elias.
Sound the Elders of Zion klaxon.
So Elias, the
Yeah,
bow
so-
of the Golden Dawn.
Again, but that's the thing is that like when Golden Dawn tries to court other right-wing parties and movements in Europe, they also like have a very hard time of like letting their just Nazi colors just. I mean, literally, their logo is a fucking
Eyebrows.
swastika. They just go buck wild. Where like I think Elias Costas, what's his fucking last name? I don't give a shit. He
Cassiodarius. What? I can't read.
Ilias, sexy bad boy.
yeah, some dude.
Kardashian.
Cassidiaris.
Yeah, Cassidy. What is
The
it?
Greek Armenians.
The Greek,
The true genocide victims.
Yeah,
the Greek Armenian.
Not
Yeah.
like that pesky Holocaust.
yeah. So
Elias Cassidiaris.
Elias Cassidiaris. Okay, yeah. So he fucking has just like again also denied the Holocaust on multiple occasions on Parliament floor. Has just quoted the what is it?
How
the
does it keep
Elder
coming up?
Protocols of Zion?
Just like in the Greek Parliament, they continue. It's like discussing like new bus routes or something. And he's like,
Yo, by the way,
by the way, bus route number 6 million, which reminds me.
yeah, I was wondering too, like, how do you bring this shit up? But you know,
Yeah.
they find a way, and
Yeah.
they do.
But what you were reaching for there was protocols of the Elders of Zion.
Yeah. And they really, you know, because it kind of goes in the thing that I misquoted myself a couple of weeks ago and said that ND, if they were to take back seats, would make a coalition with Golden Dawn. That's obviously they're not, but it would be not a formal coalition. No one wants to have Golden Dawn
Supply and
on
demand,
their
probably.
yeah. But if Nea Thermocratia wants votes for their horrible other race, like Nea Thermocratia is like the AFD. Like that is how far right wing they are, and I think a lot of people don't see that, and they've kind of been trying to catch up with Golden Dawn. Given depending on who you ask, Golden Dawn is becoming stronger or decreasing in their share of parliamentary power. We kind of don't know, but regardless, is that they do have enough seats to then start pushing very racist legislation that then, if Nea Thermocratia then gets back into power,
Which they will.
which they probably will,
Yeah.
you're
Because
going to see a lot of anti-migrant stuff. You're going to see a lot
yeah.
of just this very hyper-nationalist reaction to financial crisis, where yes, Nea Thermocratia are more like neoliberal.
I was about to say, like, they're more. I think that is like by the time when Golden Dawn was gaining a lot of like new members and shit, like a lot of support.
It was about austerity for the
exactly.
most part.
It was the time when people were like disappointed in like economics.
I mean, to be fair, the Greek economy has
and-
flatlined.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The
So-
Parties.
So yeah, they are kind of like, as you said, like the AFD.
yeah.
Like neo.
Sorry,
Well,
Kieran and I were
that's
just
yeah.
enjoying the name
Yeah.
of the other minor parties in the Greek, such as
what,
the
like-
Cause of Freedom.
Oh,
Their
where does that
logo.
lead
Their logo
us?
is a boat.
Yeah,
Is that
wait,
the
is
weird like?
the
there's
river,
The river.
Is that like
Yeah.
a Aegean thing?
as in Take Me To.
There's also like just like a
Tupatami.
full blown
Yeah.
like Greek Orthodox party. I think
Which
one
one
of
is
them,
it?
I think it.
They
may
mightn't be on the
I also
polling,
like
yeah.
the Eleniki Lisi, like the.
I love this
Greek
part
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Greek solution.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Yeah,
fun
that's
name.
very
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Absolutely.
always
Independent
good
Greeks, which is like a Destiny's Child tribute act.
Union of
European
Centrists.
Realistic Disobedience Front.
Laiki and-
Chakumama is joining Union of Centrists.
Oh, yeah. The European Realistic
Laiki.
Disobedience Front was a very important popular alternative to the European Unrealistic Disobedience Front. They're like, look, you've got to disobey things in a feasible way.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to talk about like kind of EU wonk hours because Greece has a really fucked up, stupid system where if you get the most seats.
It's the cradle of democracy. You take that back.
Okay, sorry.
It's the most purest.
But if you get the most seats.
You also get 60 more seats.
You get 60 more seats.
rightfully so.
Wow.
yeah. You
Regular.
Know, go
Yeah.
big or go home, fam.
And if you don't vote, you get whipped with a big red rope.
That's kind of weird, like winner takes it all.
Yeah, because Neo-Democratia is going to get 35%. And everyone's like, oh, 35%, okay, they'll be in a coalition, they'll be tempered.
Just kidding, they also get
No,
like
no,
50.
They're getting a majority of this fucking parliament.
Yeah.
It's so
And also
weird
the Greek
that-
parliament's
No.
way
Like-
too big for how small the country is. It's a
Yeah.
country of like 9 million people with a parliamentary system that has like 300 seats or something.
Yeah, because everyone is fucking like involved in democracy.
30% of people are employed by the state, so you've got to create jobs. This is basic economics.
You're a parliamentarian.
No, but seriously,
Exactly.
seriously, there is a reason for that. There is actually a reason for that because during the time where you had like the conservatives in power, there
forever?
was a lot of like handing out to people because the economy wasn't doing well. I mean, never.
Wait, what? When was the economy doing poorly?
There was this time in the 4th century BC when it was going pretty well.
We just need to go back to that.
So actually, to get paid, you would be involved in parliament. You know?
Oh, yeah,
you
like,
you
I
would
think,
be
what,
employed,
80% of the...
and you had a lot of like friendships and like vitamin B and shit going on, and there was a lot of like spending public money to.
And damn, would you imagine that then all that information that was going to imprison a lot of people for corruption just disappears?
Yeah,
In
definitely.
like the
It's amazing
late
how that
2000s.
It's also interesting, like that.
It's like the
people-
Mission Impossible
people-
thing.
Yeah. And during like and then with the financial crisis, it's interesting that people would argument like, oh yeah, but look, like conservatives would do it like, well, there's no like problem with that. There's no strong government, but in Greece they kind of like managed.
Was that
to-
during was that during PASOK with Papa Andreu?
Yeah,
or was
yeah,
that
exactly. Yeah,
okay?
exactly, yeah.
Because then literally after that whole thing, Greece then switches to like a very short brief where what's his name, Samaras is president or prime minister, whatever the fuck they have.
Both.
Yeah, that didn't last very long
No, it
because
didn't, yeah.
they deepened austerity and that was cool.
Yeah.
And then
But it's so
2012
interesting that,
hits
like,
and nothing bad happens.
Especially because like people
Oh, no,
argue.
the world
like,
ended 2012.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Was that what the Mayans predicted was the Greek financial crisis?
Exactly, yeah, they knew it was going to happen. Well, and then Greece will only resurrect itself when Nazi zombie Pericles comes back.
But yeah, that's why you have like such a strong parliament and such. So many people, like most of the people were employed in public jobs.
Would it surprise you that Golden Dawn wants to make the parliament smaller to 180 seats?
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah, in Greece, like postmen go around in like military platoons. Just to get-
Because you get money when you're like employed.
They like I think
some-
80% of the population was employed by.
They work, yeah.
Is that
they
the
work,
corner
they work,
Späti
because-
take? Is that you get money when you're employed? These jobs. I know one in Berlin has one, but we've heard of this thing where if you go to this place every day called a job, we're putting scare quotes
that's a
around
new
that.
concept
They
to me.
pay you money, whatever that is.
I don't know what it is.
Everyone I meet in Berlin literally lives in like a 4,000 square foot apartment and is like, I have like €8.50 in my bank account.
Stop dragging me.
Whereas everyone I know in London makes like £40,000 a year and like lives in a shoebox. Like,
Well, actually, no. I'm poor and I live in a shoebox.
amazing,
Me too, and I have 3 jobs.
London lifestyle in the Berlin apartment.
Yeah.
huge.
Kind of confusing. All right.
But yeah, let's maybe talk a little bit about New Democracy because we want to talk about the VP of New Democracy
Pimp.
who I sent you last night because I mean we're talking about Golden Dawn and Golden Dawn's obviously a lot of we'll just say connections.
They've got
Well,
Elvis.
one thing before, because I
Yeah.
think that we forgot to mention one of the biggest things that then brought Golden Dawn to the forefront of European discussion was they've been doing all these murders for a while. No one kind of really cared.
But
and then they
then-
murder an anarchist rapper,
Yeah,
Pablo
exactly.
Fisas or Killa P.
Pavlov Fisas.
And
Yeah.
every year there's like the anarchists go and they march
Yeah.
towards
So it was in Piraeus, and it was like in front of like a store or something or a cafe. It was at night, and it was like it's a really like rather quiet area. This area of Piraeus, because normally you have all those troubles in like at where the port is and shit like that. And yeah, he just got stabbed.
Stabbed, yeah.
Yeah, stabbed several times.
Wait, so
and-
Golden Dawn really are the P Diddy of political?
Yeah.
He's like murdering rappers and shit.
Yeah.
And they're
Seriously,
denying
yeah,
it.
Seriously.
They watched way too much like what is it? VH1 Behind the Music.
And he was really out there. Like Pablo Fisas was very like
very much.
anti-fascist rapper. So and now you have like the street. The street is named after him now in Piraeus, and you have it every time, like on the 15th of September, I think. Assume if I get it wrong, but I think it's the 15th of September. They have this march, to commemorate him, and
They
to
marched
try-
to Golden Dawn's office.
Yeah, exactly.
and
So
they
they marched a
yelled.
whole fucking like hour from there, like deep of Piraeus, to the Golden Dawn office. And yeah, that's actually, you don't get, it's interesting because if you protest in Greece, you don't get police protection in quotations.
So the black bloc has to do
the
all
black bloc is very like about that because they come with their motorcycles and shit like that, and they just block the road so that you can walk there. And it's very fascinating how they walk together. You know, you have the Kappa Kappa Epsilon, you have...
No, they're not there.
They were there.
No, they're not there.
Shit. Okay, you don't have the Kappa Kappa Epsilon.
It's mostly
but
less
you had like the
anarchists.
Pame.
They weren't there either.
They weren't there either.
No, Pame
Shit.
is part of.
But you had communists there. I
You
saw
had communists, yeah, but
Okay.
they're not. There's
So
like,
not
it's-
Pame, not Kappa Kappa Epsilon. You had other communists, and you have like anarchist groups. You have communist groups. You have like several kind of groups who are actually. And I'm always surprised how well that works with the blocks in Greek protests, because they actually like stand in blocks and they stay in blocks and shit like that.
That's a phalanx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden Dawn would love that shit.
Seriously.
True Greek tradition.
Oh, their marches are even they're
Uh,
even more insane. Where
but-
they do actually like line up like perfectly, and they also will march in the Golden Dawn logo. And shit.
What?
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
some choreography.
Yeah,
choreography
They
going
got some
on.
choreography going on.
Wow. Okay, they don't.
Yeah,
do
they
that
sometimes do
like
it
that.
to like the Star Wars music and stuff, like just like viral content, you know.
No, but seriously, so yeah, the whole like demonstration is protected
flash
by the
mobs.
anarchists from Exarchia, or like I don't know where they're from, but they are protecting like the whole streets. So, and you don't meet the police until you
The very
actually
end, where you're getting really
get
close to the Golden Dawn
office, exactly.
headquarters.
Oh, it's like
And
the final
then-
boss.
Yeah,
And then it's
the
like
final boss
yeah,
of the police
exactly.
that just
Yeah,
start
people-
lobbing
people are
tear gas
starting-
grenades at you.
Yeah, people are starting like preparing and shit, like pulling their
Okay, yeah.
It's
their-
definitely
what's it called?
Bandanas, the masks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
And like
Or
collecting
balaclavas, whatever the fuck
yeah,
they're
that's
called.
that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I
the
wanted
other
to
word.
say. That's a nice word. I
Yeah,
don't know where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
from, but I like it.
Yeah.
Balaclava.
But
I don't know what the Greek version of that would be.
And like
Baklava.
collecting.
I don't know what Erdogan would say about that.
But like collecting stones and shit like that. And there was like actually a teenage girl, like 14 maybe, with her mom, and she was like pulling.
Time to go raise hell.
Sleeves.
Okay.
She was like pulling up her like sleeve and getting kind of like mask and shit, and the mom was like, "No, don't do that, not today," and shit like
Just, like,
that.
pulled out.
It was a very sad scene.
Oh.
But yeah, and then we got closer, and then suddenly the police showed up. Like the whole march, like for 1 hour from this area where Pavlo Fisas was murdered to the port of Piraeus, there was no fucking police, no police protection, or anything. But
It's
Yeah.
almost like they have different priorities of who to protect.
it's almost like griechische Polizisten schützen die Faschisten.
Or they are just fascists.
I don't really speak that much German, but I understood that.
Yeah, what she said. I completely agree.
My dad's a police officer and my mom's in Golden Dawn, so that's the same person. So I wanted to ask about New Democracy because the VP is
It's cool.
he's so I mean Golden Dawn. I don't know. I mean we're talking about how like how much they're like kind of one and the same with the police force and stuff. They are, people are a lot of them are arrested, and some people, it's kind of cheered as we're about to do a reading series on it, but as the article says, like there is a lot of, they're like dealing with the problem of Golden Dawn. I'm doing scare
by
quotes.
saying crazy shit like that.
And they only have
sometimes.
8%, but New Democracy has 35%,
Yeah.
and maybe the views aren't all that different. Can you run down the VP of New Democracy? Some of
Oh,
his,
yeah. First off, he is, if I'm not mistaken, he was like a salesperson on TV. Like a very, like a job that doesn't exist anymore, but still exists in Greece. That you can still be selling.
TV is superior.
Yeah, you can still be
These
selling.
Diamante swastikas will fit perfectly in any home.
But yeah, you can still fucking be in Greece and be like a telesales person.
Oh, amazing.
Like, yeah, so he did
It's
that.
like ShamWow.
He
Gets rid of all these pesky other Holocausts that aren't the one you like.
Yeah, so what he starts becoming a politician, I think, like with the late 2000s. So he gives up his old life of being a telesalesperson.
He left all that behind.
He left all that behind, and he's just been on like a tangent of just saying the most insane things. Given this is the second highest person in the largest party in Greece currently, just going around and promoting like incredibly anti-Semitic books at his family-owned bookstore, and
There's no other kind of books you can promote there because that's the only kind of books they sell.
Yeah. What else is on that list of things that you sent me that are just like the most just like he.
Well,
He
I'll
hasn't
just
gone like as insane as like Golden Dawn being like, yeah, the Holocaust never happened, but it's just kind of like, oh yeah, the Jews, they may control everything.
I'll just read from it. It was from a Nation article about the far right in Greece.
It's not like the Holocaust didn't happen, but he's like both sidesing the Holocaust.
Georgiadis frequently calls Greece a communist country and is an open Trump fan who has regularly spread fake news on Twitter and TV. Like a fake story sourced from a far-right website that claimed refugees had taken down a picture of the Virgin Mary in a small town. And that the PM had flown, so Tsipras had flown to Paris in a prime ministerial jet to take his family to Disneyland. As one does. So this is really like...
Which Disneyland?
The French...
Disneyland International Waters.
Disneyland Turkey.
It's very powerful. It makes sense he's a Trump fan because it's very powerful, like dumb right-wing American energy in this guy. One of my favorite points is that a few months ago he was selling, quote, nanobionic vests on TV.
Nanobionic vests.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but you got to have it if you're in Greece.
We are very upset when the refugees take down the picture of the Virgin Mary because we are trying to beat off.
That's why we all wear nanobionic vests.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's embroiled in a massive
Stops the
scandal
urges.
concerning his time
It's
as
just
health
very fancy
minister,
nipple clamps.
and amid allegations of shady dealings with the pharmaceutical company Novartis. Classic stuff.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that is the very established conservative party in Greece.
Yeah. He's been doing some business deals with the Icelandics.
Yeah. And then I always kind of find it weird when then like people are like, oh, okay, things are gonna get back to normal. Like those pesky members of Syriza, like they're just getting too buck wild. To be fair, Syriza's like mildly like social democratic now compared to their beginnings. They have definitely dropped the ball on multiple occasions. But I think that they're far better than when these dipshits with, a guy who has so much Donald Trump Jr. energy.
You don't think the nanobionic vests are going to solve Greece's
They
austerity
could.
problems?
I mean, Milo had me convinced.
Oh,
Yeah, you just go camping in your nanobionic vest on the golf course, and then you turn Iran into a hotel and resort.
Yeah.
Elephant hunting.
Sounds
It's all
cool.
good, baby.
But
Should we go into the reading series?
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts? What people should do?
about Golden Dawn?
Yeah, be in solidarity with
Oh my God!
Greek
There's
anti-fascist
a lot.
groups.
Step one, don't vote for them.
Yeah. If you live in the U.S. or Australia and you can vote in Greek elections, don't vote for Golden Dawn. I don't know why I have to say this, but I feel that there may be one person who's going to listen to this
It
who may be
sounds like a hotel. It isn't. It's a political
No.
party.
Yeah. It's not a good hotel.
When you get your ballot and
Not like Club Penguin or something. It's very different.
I thought it was like Hobbit Hotel.
Yeah.
yeah, just don't vote. And the thing is, I'm really glad that my family does not have their Greek
Just don't
passports
vote.
because they would probably fucking vote for Golden Dawn.
You
Like
think all of them?
some of them, yeah.
So just to wrap up then, I do listen to a little Trashfuture, and I've heard
Ooh.
about a little guy. Well, we want to make you feel at home here
Okay,
in
yeah.
Berlin. We know you're on the road.
Always.
Yeah, we got
So
that
you
London-
introduced me to this guy.
London Berlin collab. Rob's gonna do the Drake thing where he starts speaking like he's a drill rapper.
Yes, please.
Started from the bottom, now we're here, baby.
You introduced me to one Brendan O'Neill.
Oh, yes, my special boy.
Now, the first thing I should say is that maybe I haven't listened enough, but I feel like it's buried the lead a little bit because he's not one of the like dime a dozen safe space blah blah blah. He's just like he calls himself a Trotskyist and yells about. He has very like inane beefs that I cannot keep track of, which is just it's I respect
So
that.
Brendan O'Neill is amazing. I think that Brendan O'Neill is like one of the. So I feel like I understand Brendan O'Neill better than almost anyone on the planet because I regularly write articles in the voice of Brendan O'Neill for the podcast, and I've had to do that kind of like Pacific Rim like brain link with Brendan O'Neill, and it's forced me to understand like as well as looking like a man who has like a severe kind of birth defect. He he's not like right wing. He's just insane. It's like he has to take whatever the most contrary position is on any issue, and like
So he's transgressive.
yeah, it's like weird. Like he's fairly like. He's kind of like he's like a lib basically. Like he's very like liberal on most issues. Like he's like pro like abortion rights and whatever. Like he's not like a chud, but he just will. He's such a like free speech guy that he will like bend himself into like full pretzels to like support whatever the free speech like turn of events is. And sometimes like the real free speech is murdering some people.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that's what free speech is.
Well, there is no Greek version of a pretzel, but
There is a Turkish one.
there is. Yeah, so he's going to turn himself into a simit.
Yeah.
Like full circle.
Yeah. Well, perfect shape then, because
So it would be impressive if he did put himself into the shape of the meander on the Golden Dawn flag.
Oh,
he pretty much does that here.
Like that is advanced pretzels.
Bending
stuff.
yourself into a swastika to prove you're not a Nazi.
Okay, so he wrote.
But he doesn't know how to draw swastika, so he accidentally makes the Golden
so you
Dawn
go
logo.
all the way.
Guys, would a Nazi do yoga? I think not.
So this is a bit of a classic. October 2013. I just realized.
Oh,
It
back
is
in
called
the day.
on Spiked Online, "The War on Golden Dawn: A Dark Day for Democracy?"
Question mark, I hope? Or
Question mark.
well, then I can
Oh,
already
it's
answer
a
that.
big
It
old
is a
question mark.
However much you hate Golden Dawn, GD, because he's on a first name basis with them.
Which
call
now
it
makes it
GD
sound like an
now.
STD.
You're gonna call it yeah.
Got a bad case of that GD.
You should worry about the Greek state's war on it.
I'm worried they're not doing enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the
Already-
picture they've used looks like a guy
I'm already
from...
riled up on
He
this.
looks like a very sympathetic guy, I think.
Yeah,
dude has
he's got a
LS
very like
tattooed on
squatting
his
style
arm.
Is that the guy who has
tracksuits.
LF tattooed on him?
On
Yeah.
his bicep.
That's the thing too. The Golden Dawn's imagery, they've really like tapped into the sense of like using just like things that are like Nazis are good at, like things that are very
Like runes.
runes. But the thing is that like a lot of
No,
people,
that's just called the Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
A whole
that's the
scape
thing
of
is
them.
that like so
They make it look weird.
German Nazis have used runes and stuff like that, but Golden Dawn just uses like the Greek flag. They use like or like
But you don't need runes if you're like already the
the cradle of
Cradle of
civilization. Yes, I know.
civilization.
But
Exactly.
they use a lot of
Not
imagery.
in
Yeah, they use a lot of imagery that then obviously is like can be very easily confused of being harmless, kind of like the OK sign, but the Greek version of it. So like
What is the Greek version?
It's
of
just the
okay
French
sign?
symbol for I'm having a nice holiday in Estonia.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay in the polls.
Aristophanes is Pepe the Frogs.
Exactly.
just like but like yeah, the Greek flag they use all the time because that's a very non-offensive symbol. However, they use sometimes very specifically like the junta flag, which is dark blue. So
Oh, there's a different
if
shade.
you're
Oh,
if you're a real head,
OG.
There's a different
if
shade
you're a
of
real
blue
head,
if
you
you're-
know. But if you're just
So
nonchalantly
it's
looking
like,
at Golden
is it
Dawn,
like a
It's very
marine
dangerous
blue,
being
or is it
colorblind
more
in
like
Greece.
Yeah.
Like a slightly darker blue?
it is a slightly darker blue, yes,
okay.
but it looks the exact same.
I thought I was at a football game, but it's actually a fascist march.
Oh, well, in Britain, that would just be the same thing. My favourite group, I was talking about this with Nate yesterday, our favourite group remains the Democratic Football Lads
Oh,
Alliance.
they're the best.
Just because what a wordy name for a group of people, I imagine, who don't have a high reading age.
No.
The Democratic Football
Well,
Lads
they
Alliance.
would. If they did, they would have realized like just putting democratic in front of their name sounds communist as fuck. Like,
I know. It's extremely North Korean vibe.
yeah, the Democratic German Republic of Football. Like,
I mean, I'm in. Where do I sign up?
100%.
So, let's begin. Why isn't there more discomfort, or at least the asking of some awkward questions, about the arrest of Golden Dawn MPs in Greece? Just
Because they murder people.
This is in the aftermath of the murder of the
Pavlos
fascist rapper
Thesis, yeah.
you guys mentioned before. And, like we said, he has to be the contrarian to just ask some questions.
Yeah. Just asking questions, baby.
Just asking.
definitely
And
not
some of those
bringing up the
questions
murder.
are, did the Holocaust happen?
Yes, Golden Dawn is a profoundly unpleasant organization. Virulently
Unpleasant is
racist,
a nice way to put it.
anti-Semitic, allergic to the ideals of free speech and free movement, and supported by people who are quite happy to use violence against those they hate, especially immigrants.
It's called murder.
Ah.
It makes our own British National Party look like a chapter of the Women's Institute in comparison.
So,
Oh wait,
this-
the
so
Women's
this
Institute.
follows-
What the fuck are we going like?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Women's Institute very big on jam and ethno-nationalism. So this follows the classic formula of any Spiked or Spectator article, which is like where the first paragraph will just be what the normal opinion would be.
So like
And
that's
then-
horrible.
And then you'll go, but here's why that's wrong. They're like, if you just stopped after the first paragraph, it would be a fine article. That's an accurate description. Thank you, Brendan.
Yeah, they shouldn't murder people. I'm definitely upset about that.
Yeah.
And the next word is a yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
The
there's a yet
fancy
coming.
man's butt.
Oh, yeah.
Yet that doesn't mean we should give a nod to, far less cheer, the Greek state's incarceration of GD's leaders and members of parliament who were democratically elected. Any police sweep on elected politicians should make those of us who call ourselves Democrats anxious. That Greece's military-style assault on GD hasn't is very worrying.
Does he ever mention that they murder people?
I don't think he does.
Seriously.
No, hold on. All right.
Because
Brendan
they're all
O'Neill.
They were
every
democratically
member of Golden Dawn
elected.
who is in jail because they have either
Yeah,
murdered someone
it's
or
not because-
attempted to murder someone.
It's not because they're part of Golden
No.
Dawn. It's because they fucking murdered
They're not
people.
doing like normal politician
It's like,
crimes we have in any
no.
country
Yeah.
of just like embezzling somebody.
No,
Yes,
it's like
seriously.
me and my 8 homies are gonna go on like a fucking murder rampage tonight. Oh damn, we got caught. Like,
But we shouldn't do that. Like we shouldn't
Thank you,
arrest them
slippery
because
slope.
democracy.
thank you, Brendan O'Neill.
Brendan O'Neill at the Nuremberg trial, like, damn, the SJ Dubs, is it 1984 already? These people were democratically elected. Sure, they did some things which I personally think are distasteful. Certainly not something you could get away with in a church hall or a jam making competition, but
I'm just
love
imagining
what does that say about
They're, like,
democracy?
democratically elected. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. I'm imagining to his like take about like, the SJWs killed Heinrich Himmler. Like he brought
Yeah.
himself to his own death because he just couldn't handle the heat from the SJWs.
Speaking of which, there was a little tidbit where when Rudolph Hess died, Golden Dawn was
Crying?
it was the equivalent of the Kanye Bill Cosby innocent tweet, but it was just like Golden Hess immortal. Like
Oh yeah, they
forever.
love
Oh,
that
Yeah.
shit.
seriously?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
where did you
Just-
dig that up?
They're like they're
Didn't
really
like
open
Rudolph
about how
Hess.
much
Well,
they love.
that's
Yeah,
impressive.
they love Rudolph Hess. They love
Oh, yeah,
all the
Germans
old
do too.
Nazis.
Not Germans, but
and then at
Nazis
the same time they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we want that however many billions of dollars in reparations from Germany, which is always really funny because they're
It's
like, you
interesting.
thought this was cool. Like you don't want reparations. You just want to
Yeah.
be like a part of that sphere of influence again.
Yeah, I find that kind of like fascinating.
Well, like,
at the
the
same time, you
mentorship.
want reparations, and at the other time you say like, oh yeah, we kind of like we like that stuff.
They
So-
want
We
the,
like
like,
it that you took our lunch money.
So what do you want?
It was
they
character
want like
building.
the School of the Americas, but for Southern Europe.
Yeah, I thought that Rudolf Hess was like the really the naive Nazi, the one who was like, oh yeah, 1 pot meals on a Sunday, and then he was like, oh wait, some of this other stuff. And then he
Again, that's
flew
why
to
Golden Dawn
Scotland.
likes him because
It's simple.
Yeah, but I thought like neo-Nazis didn't like Rudolf Hess because it was like basically Rudolf Hess's fault that loads of them got convicted at Nuremberg because he like just told everyone all the shit that they did.
Yeah, but
And they were all like, Rudolf, what the fuck?
But they still
We said that
love him
between the
somehow.
dudes.
Like
We
I don't know,
kissed.
I don't know.
what happens at Wannsee stays at Wannsee.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't know if there's such a like differentiated opinion about him because you have the neo-Nazis like doing the Rudolf Hess march every fucking year, saying like it was murder, blah 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 blah. Yeah, because he died in prison and shit. And
Wasn't he like
I don't-
95 too
Yeah.
when he died? That's like
yeah, it's
like
like
the
really
QAnon
weird
people who
definition of
think
murder. Like when we actually kill people, that's
life
not murder.
murder.
But when some guy dies of natural causes, you better believe that's murder.
Absolutely.
No, seriously.
The
But they
Holocaust
still-
definitely didn't happen, but Rudolf Hess dying of natural causes, oh boy.
I like to call
That's
it.
genocide.
Can't be. I mean, he survived all the other shit.
I like to call it to the stand. Natural causes.
Damn, we're going to hang natural causes. A big
Natural
dummy
causes
with
are
natural causes
cancelled.
written on it. Being convicted by a Soviet general.
All right, I want to jump ahead a little bit.
Just put a mass
I do want
grave
to
of
point
natural
out.
causes.
I do want to point. So he just says, yeah, everyone's cheering it on, and they arrested a bunch of people.
But not him.
He says he calls out Syriza for saying it's good that they arrested the Golden Dawn people by saying Syriza, the left-wing opposition party in Greece, which numerous European leftists have excitably hailed as a radical voice against austerity. Okay.
Those were the good times.
Love it.
How the mighty have fallen.
I know.
These radical cheerleaders of a state clampdown on democratically elected politicians urgently need to look up the word democracy in a dictionary.
Funny enough, democracy comes from the Greek word.
This is this is like the 2013 version of Google Venezuela, isn't it? Look up democracy in the dictionary, and underneath it you'll find a picture of me, a man with a head the shape of a butternut squash.
To describe the arrest of politicians who were elected by the public by masked, armed police who were not elected by the public as a quote victory for democracy.
Oh no, Brendan and Neil's going into socialist police territory.
We need to elect the cops. Oh, so good.
We love our elected cops, our law enforcement.
Some leftists are claiming that the militaristic clampdown on GD has nothing to do with its political beliefs and is just a straightforward investigation of some men involved in alleged criminal activity. It's hard
doing a lot of papering over the murder.
He hasn't mentioned the word murder once, still.
Seriously.
This is like wow. And you thought it was like the white campus rapists who got a positive. The Greek right-wing murderers really get the look. Like some guys, they went out, they got a little bit carried away. Boys will be boys. Look, they murdered some people, okay? It happens. We've all been there, you know.
Yeah. Don't
a
say
few
the M word.
Uzos.
The M word is a slur. That's a
All right,
Don't say that.
here's where it gets good. He's trying to appeal to his audience,
Dawn
to
base.
be consistent and to not contradict yourself. There are precedents in Greece for this kind of state behavior. As the BBC News report on the arrest of GD's politicians said in passing, this is the first time since 1974 that a party leader and MPs have been arrested.
It's also been the first time since they murdered some people.
What happened in 1974?
What happened in 1974?
yeah,
That was the tail end of the military dictatorship in Greece.
Yeah.
Lasting from 1967, here's his copy-paste from Wikipedia. Lasting from 1967 to 1974, the regime of the colonels, as the Greek military's assumption of power was known, launched several clampdowns on left-wing parties, especially communist ones. Communist organizations were described by the military dictatorship as a threat to the social order, and even as bandits. One wonders if the naive leftists...
Cute Jair Bolsonaro. Steaming in.
One wonders if the naive leftists, currently swallowing the Greek state's propaganda about the clampdown on GD being a straightforward criminal investigation, would have so readily accepted the military's not dissimilar claims that communists were a destabilizing force and therefore had to be banned.
Oh man, he's figured me out.
For leftists to demand the banning of a political party in Greece, where previous such stringent action was taken against left parties, suggests that they haven't learned from one of the most basic lessons of history. That if you empower the state to dictate which political creeds are acceptable and which are not, you might one day find such power wielded against you as well as your opponents.
Golden Dawn is, this is like,
Wow, this argument
I
is
love
so
how
strong.
I love his like fucking horseshoe theory that he's comparing Golden Dawn to like the 14th of November movement.
Exactly, what the fuck?
Yeah. And he's saying, he's comparing like, one day the state might come down on you. And it's just literally that's been happening for decades and centuries. Like, where have you been?
Like people and all of them were like fighting for something else to not murder people and shit.
Also, like say the weird, if you're on the left, you just have to support both political extremes being allowed to just murder whoever they want.
Yeah,
and that's what democracy is. I've looked it up in the dictionary, which no one else ever has, and that's what it is.
That's what
Who
it says.
can get a bigger
Murderers.
body count? That is all I care
It's all
about.
about
I actually write my own dictionary every year, and that's what it says now. So that's what it is.
Democracy is a game of Counter-Strike.
Yo, it's like that Game of Thrones piece that you put up last week
Oh, what?
Yeah.
about the European elections.
Yeah, where it's that European think tank that was just like, you can separate all European voters into these 4 distinct groups, which we've given like Game of Thrones nicknames. It's like, oh god, stop.
Shit.
Stop.
Wow, trying to like...
People who vote for UKIP are the wild ones, and you're like, what are you doing?
No, what?
Yeah, you heard I was
That's
a
not
wild
even
one. Voting for a guy just like my dad.
It was a fun report. Back to this nonsense.
I got one more paragraph. He's
Yes.
This is the last
Go for
paragraph,
it.
so he's gonna tie it together.
All right. This is essential thesis. conclusion.
I'm waiting.
It may well be true that GD is becoming a criminal organization. Let's hope the court cases decide that one way or another.
Wait, so he says don't arrest them, but then actually let the court cases go through because they may be murderers.
Let's wait until they become actually a criminal
I
organization.
like Brendan O'Neill's version of justice, which court cases happen after no one's been arrested.
Yeah.
Oh.
They just happen.
Oh, it gets better. It's certainly true that GD is a vile racist group and that some of its supporters are violent-minded. Yet the Greek left's response to that fact should have been to organize more effectively against GD, perhaps by setting up immigration protection patrols in those parts of Greece with immigrant communities.
Oh, I'm sure that
They
Brendan would have fucking
do.
supported that.
What the fuck they fucking do?
If I was
I'm
being
sure that he
murdered,
would
I
have
simply
written an
would
article like
stop
the
being murdered. Have you
neo-fascism
tried that?
of the
They have
1984
a fucking whole
patrols?
district where you have like immigrant protection.
Yeah, but it's not done by the state because the
No,
state
of course
has.
it's not
Yeah,
done by
I know,
the
but
state.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't understand his logic though. Is then don't police the parties. Have other ways of policing that then actually could become
So don't
that could
directly
prey on
react.
people who are very vulnerable in a.
Allowing the police to enforce the law is fascism, whereas vigilantism is good, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right,
he says
Brendan.
because the alternative route that the Greek and European left opted for, which was to demand and then cheer a state assault on GD, would prove disastrous.
And he's not mentioned once that they murdered people. Still,
It is anti-democratic. It
States.
fundamentally disempowers the left and emboldens the state, and it disguises where the real threat to Greek politics and democracy is coming from today,
Still
which is
murder.
Brussels, not the alleged guns of the GD.
Of course.
Brussels.
Of course.
What a terribly high price all of that is.
The
Just
most
so that
dangerous
European
vegetable of all.
leftists can indulge in the fantasy that we're waging
All right.
a war against new
I'm
Nazis.
putting
God.
words in Brendan O'Neill's mouth. He is
Wait,
pro-murder.
That last sentence. What a terribly high price all of this is, just so that European leftists can indulge in the fantasy that they are waging a war against new Nazis. It's like,
I mean, they're not very new.
I love how he just does the Trotskyist tradition of just ending up supporting the right over than anarchists and communists.
We just heard from you guys about how they have to do all the shit themselves. They don't have any police protection, and he's like, these fucking Greeks are relying on the state for everything. It's like,
bullshit.
do you know
The
anything
only way,
about what's going on?
The only way to be a leftist is to support the Nazis.
Yeah.
Because that's what democracy
I've
is.
painted myself into a corner again.
Every Brendan O'Neill Riley described every Brendan O'Neill article is like they swing a big 100-pound weight down on a pendulum into his skull, and then he has 5 minutes to write it.
that's why his head looks like that.
Yeah.
Yo, his
Just
cartoon.
coming out the other end.
How the fuck?
seriously
It's a
what is
cartoon.
that?
You can draw it however you want, but they draw
No,
it.
but it's it literally it's like
Yeah.
his head is just smushed in the middle. Oh my god, the most disgusting.
Yeah, he
It was
genuinely
funny.
looks like he has a serious genetic
What does
issue.
he really look like?
That.
Yeah, I saw the the caricature.
Yeah.
Also, I love that. This is such a thing on the British right, their obsession with the idea that both the Europeans are all these kind of ineffectual, effeminate types who can't get anything done, but also that they're engaged in this massive conspiracy to suppress all of our democracy. And it's well, which is it? Are they just
All the above.
smoking spliffs and fucking each other, or are they trying to take over the world? What? Which one?
I mean, why not both? You know?
Well, I guess that would be very Greek of them, actually. We are fucking each other in the ass, but only for the passing on of a masculine powers.
Yes.
Exactly. Laugh it up. They really thought that shit.
I think on that note, that's all I got.
Episode title.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening this week again.
Yeah,
Make sure to listen to Melty Brains' song New Dawn, which is not related to Golden Dawn. It's
Yeah.
D-O-N. It's a good song. It's our theme song. It's a bop. I'm staring at a picture of Brendan O'Neill looking smugly at me.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not
giving
too-
us the eye.
He is. It's not too far off from the cartoon.
It's quite
Seriously,
sexually
quite
arresting.
accurate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he also has that twist
It's a
in
very,
his head.
but it's also a very you would think that, wouldn't you? kind of look on his face.
I'm sorry that I think
Yeah.
that Golden Dawn is a murderous party. I'm sorry I've shamed you, Brendan O'Neill.
I'm sorry that
Why
you
are
think
making up
cunnilingus
new
is real.
Nazis?
Yeah.
And,
Sorry, I'll call them by their real name, which is Metaxas, not neo-Nazis. My
I'm not
bad.
a Nazi. I'm a Metaxas.
I just like getting turned. That's me.
And thank you to Milo for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Do you have anything to plug or talk about?
Do I have anything to plug? I have a show on Sunday, but I imagine this will come out after that.
Monday.
Yeah, it's going to come out Monday. So go back into the past and come to my show in Berlin. Listen
Become
to
a Time Lord.
listen to Trashfuture, a show even dumber than this one, where we talk about all kinds of shit. Very rarely greased though. So if you're all greased out, come listen to Trashfuture, where we talk about
We're
Brendan O'Neill
greasy
a lot.
boys over here.
If you like heard the Greek anti-fascists and thought that's cool, but I'd rather hear more from the brain damaged journalist than listen to Trashfuture.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. You can follow me at Milo_Edwards on Twitter, and you can follow the Trashfuture at TrashFuturePod. Yeah, sorry, I started off this podcast like sleep deprived, and I've ended it sleep deprived and drunk. So
Yeah, badass.
That's what we do.
and at no point did I learn anything or say anything of value.
Welcome to the podcast.
Well, hey, thank you. Pleased to be an honorary member of this particular commando.
This elite team.
This elite podcasting group.
So, yeah, then we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.